Glory Day pre-market phase today is about structure, not prediction. Mark SPX and XPS high lows swap and liquidity.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Just want to give glory to God and thank you for the opportunity to share with you and just give thanks for the daily bread that has been received from doing this. And just want to lean into God for knowledge, understanding, insight, and wisdom as we position ourselves to receive his blessing. What comes to mind is Luke 16:10, whoever can be trusted with little can be trusted with much, and whoever is dishonest with very little will also be dishonest with much. And I apply that to discipline. As we embark on this study and these strategies requires discipline. That is the honor and respect that needs to be given as we start out with little understanding or a little account. The idea is to scale it up and to gain much. And we need to be disciplined in doing so. So with that being said, I'm sharing this for informational purposes only. It is my own proprietary system as a result of my own research, and it's a strategy that I use in my own real account. While it's principle-based strategy, the strategy is subject to change. By sharing my trading activities, it's not a solicitation for me to buy or sell securities for others. Trading involves risk with possible loss of principal. Sharing my live trading sessions should not be construed as investment advice. And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and take a review of yesterday. It was a good day. I got the 25% on the trade. Hopefully Barry doesn't mind me sharing information, but he did a 12-to-1 trade, which is where I'm going with today's first lesson. He did a 12-to-1 trade. It worked out profitably, and that was awesome. I missed the 12-to-1 trade, and I'm going to point something out, the reason I missed it, and it'll be a good thing for you to recognize is a sweep pattern. So I did not realize, you know how I feel about the 6,800 psychological number, just in general, the zeros. I mean, it could be 6,850, 6,870, depending on the price in relation to the market structure. Okay, so I don't want to lose you, so I'm going to get right to it. I drew two vertical lines right here, 11.3, 26.705, and then there's even like another, like those wicks. I just want you to take a look at this right here. This is what I'm talking about, okay? This right here, these right here, this is a sweep pattern. So I did not realize that the 6,800 had already been hit. So it had been hit, several times. Just take a look. Anything at 6,800 or above 6,800. And what that means is liquidity had already been taken from that level. So me and my paranoia, I'm waiting, throughout the day. Like, I mean, this is 7:05. So, I mean, here it is, like 10:40 and headed into 12 o'clock. I'm waiting for 6,800 to be hit because I entered my trade over here in this area, right? Yeah, when VWAP was rejected. This is rejection of the VWAP. We see this big red candle, and then we see another 5-minute candle below the pink line. That's a rejection of the VWAP. Make note, because, these are things we talk about all day, every day, day in, day out. It does not change. You will not miss it. I talk about it all the time. And today we're even going to have a lesson, and the lessons repeat. We go through the entire syllabus, and then we start over again. So you don't have to feel like you've missed out, because you'll get caught up quick. All right, because there's only so many topics to this. There's only so many topics to market structure. You're learning a playbook. I mean, if you're in the NFL, this would be your playbook, and you got to start somewhere, training day, day one, preseason or whatever. Anyway, let's just keep going here. So price had dropped and was underneath the VWAP, and so here's the thing. So it stayed underneath the VWAP. I saw price going back towards, it started going sideways right here. I saw my 25%, I took it. The reason being is when it gets to the VWAP or a support level, which is after it comes down, this would be a support level right here. So price is down. When it gets back to this price right here, or this level right here, it can be accepted or rejected. Okay. And because it bounces off the ceiling, that would be a ceiling. We call it resistance. So it bounces off the ceiling, boom, just like it did. It came up, bounced, went back down. It hit this zone right here, which was a previous support zone. Okay, so that was a support zone. So it bounced. If I close this up, which I'll do, there it is over here to the left. You see that? I'm going to bring the stick over there. And there it is. There's our support zone right there. So over here, it hit that. What does that mean, Titus? Well, that means there's buyers over there. There's buyers. So they will buy it when when the price goes down to that level, they appear on the scene. Okay, so that's their turf, and they're not letting price go below there this time, right? Not this time, okay? So, what occurred was when price started going back up to the VWAP, and it went sideways, I exited the trade, took my 25% profit. I was getting ready for the second A+ setup of the day, right? And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, okay, I know there's liquidity at the 6,800 level. We are within striking distance. I'm like gonna let it get to 6,800. I'm gonna let price come to me. Well, this right here is a wick. See that? I'm waving it over the wick that's straight up like that. That is a sweep wick. So they triggered stop losses, took liquidity right there, and ran. So that's what a liquidity sweep looks like. You get this long wick up, and then they run away. So it's like they call it a money grab, a liquidity grab. So they grabbed the liquidity, reverse price, took off, back to the VWAP line, underneath the VWAP line, and price pinned into the close, which is where Barry made his entrance and won his trade, is right here. Okay, this is what I'm going to go into two things today. I'm going to go into and I'm going to try to hit an overview in say no more than 10 minutes. I'm going to talk about supply and demand, and I'm going to talk about that 12-to-1 trade. It's called a gamma pin, an option gamma pin. Okay, so 12-to-1 trade will now be referred to as a gamma pin, and price is pinned right here. Okay, you see that? That's what is called a gamma pin into the close, and that's how I'll be structuring my 12-to-1 trade. And I'm about to go into something that helps us determine where the gamma pin is likely to occur. Okay, again, it's subject to occur around the VWAP line, and the points we're looking for is 20 points up, 20 points down. Okay, and here is another trick we're gonna use. We go to, sorry, I'm dilly-dallying around here. Let me get to where we want to go. We don't want all that. Close that. Yeah. Sorry. Hold on. Boom. I just want my screen back. Let's go home. Let's go trade. Okay. That ain't smooth. Come on, smooth operator. Oh, we were ticking along. This one. Got it. All right, so here we go. We're going to go to the options chain. I'm going to start taking you to the options chain. Don't get intimidated. It makes sense. All right. I know that's a lot of data on the screen. But geez, and I'm going to make it even worse by looking at SPXW. SPXW. That is what I trade daily. We're looking at the SPXX chart because it's the one that has the VWAP on it. They're twins, but the SPXX trades weekly. So I trade daily. So the SPXW trades daily, but does not have a VWAP. So come to the workshop. I'll make sense of that. But in the meantime, just follow along. Just follow along. Okay. So what we have here, I'll break it down real quick. What we have here, we want to start on the dates. So March 12th, 13th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th. So on and so forth. If you see me moving the box right there, those are expiration dates. Okay, so we're getting possibly our first lesson in expiration dates. I want to make trades today, so I'm going to look at March 12th trades. All right. Tomorrow is the 13th, but you see it jumps to Monday. So that's why there's no 14 and 15. Tomorrow is Friday the 13th, by the way. Who cares? I know, but 16, 17 is Monday and Tuesday. No trading this particular index over the weekend. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump right here. Next, you see calls and puts. All right. I like to quiet everything down when I'm placing my trades. So I will just look at one side, which was this is the call side. And then I like to look at the put side. All right. That's just me. I like to quiet everything down. I know some traders like to have both sides up at the same time, but the less noisy, the less busy, the more quiet, I do better. All right. I like to slip into my zone. I've always been that way. I'm just like quiet in my zone and making plays, making plays and saving days, you know. So That's the way I roll. That's what I like to do. So anyway, I'm going to bring you one step below that where it's bid, ask, delta options. Okay, so I am going to open interest, open INT, open interest. Okay, that's the number of contracts that are sitting there. So I'm going to take you to, I did it again. I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, when I start using this account to trade out of, I'm not using this account right now to trade, but I love the charts. So I'm just using the charts in this account because I love them. I like them. I've used a lot of different charts, and these are my favorites. All right. TradeStation. Yeah, you should get one. The only thing is it requires, if you are able to drop $2,000 in there, you can do iron condors. Otherwise, use Robinhood or Tradier. Tradier's charts are inferior. However, the platform is real nice, simple, easy to use for me. And you can trade out of there with less than $100. I mean, you can trade in Tradier and do spreads once you get the proper approval, which I will help you set up. Don't go doing that on your own. I'll help you set the platforms up come Saturday, and we'll do it in the last 30 minutes during the question and answer session. So anyway, open interest. Yes, and the gamma pin. So here's what price does is it goes to the highest open interest, okay? So that's our price action. Remember, I'm always talking about targets, right? So they're always targeting liquidity. There's always a target. It's never random. Price doesn't move just because retail and sentiment or investors are on the scene and everybody's, just either panicking or they're like super happy and they're buying, stocks and, the economy's great. And there's always supply and demand is what I'm getting at, and that's what price will magnetically gravitate to, is the supply and demand. And so I'm going to show you a way right now, if I just stop talking so much, to identify open interest. Okay, so we're looking at the highest number of contracts on our screen right now. So help me out. You look. So 1688 at 6750. 1688 is the highest number I've seen so far. Oh, at 6800, there it is. I told you, 6800, 1844. And then on the call side, we've got we got 1587 there. So I'm already thinking price is going to go as high as 6825. Because there's liquidity there, there's contracts there, and towards the 12 to 1, it's possible that we're going to see a gamma pin. Gamma is the amount of time it takes for price to get to a target. It's price movement. Okay, I'm not going to get too deep into gamma pin, but I did promise you a lesson on gamma. All right, and that's my lesson, it's the amount of time it takes to get to a price. Okay, so with that being said, you have gamma price moving to 1587, and I see 1844. So that is subject to be our gamma pin. I'm just saying. We'll update it throughout the day, especially take a look at it moving 12 to 1 as we grow closer to the 12 to 1. Let's take a look at the open interest and see where it's at. So we'll just scroll. I'm just doing one more scroll before we move on. See, I see that 6888 over there. So So how does that work? Well, it works by the sweep. So what we're subject to see is price go down. You're like, oh my God, it's so volatile. And so it's going to go down to 67.50, and then it could possibly go back up into the 6,800 zone, or it could be vice versa. I'm not trying to predict. We're just merely looking at probabilities, and we will let price come to us because we have a game plan. We've got a strategy. We've identified the opposition's plays. We'll call it the opposition, but we're actually going to trade with them, not against them. Okay. So in other words, we're going to beat them at their own game. With that being said, we've identified the contracts down here at the 67.50 zone. And hopefully you're making note of that so you can see that it's true. So anyway, that is my lesson on gamma, the gamma pin, and the 12-to-1. So if you're wondering like what Coach is doing, 12-to-1, Coach is looking at open interest, all right, which brings me to my day today. It's busy. So I am so busy today. I am not even going to talk to you about my schedule. I'm just going to say that I'm going to be with you hopefully through the first A+ setup. So hopefully you'll be able to track along as I identify the first A+ setup and execute the first trade. Don't even worry about my exit because I'm out at 25%. No more losses. Like we ain't losing no more, never. No, I can't say ever, praise God, but just sticking to the discipline, we always win 9 out of 10. And that 10, that there's always one that, it's an execution error, but I'm even eliminating that and reducing that. How about that? I'm bringing down those odds or chances of losing an execution, meaning that it's in the close. So like the close is kind of technical, right? It requires precision and surgical exit. I'm thinking surgery. I just had one. So it's got to be surgical. But again, I'm setting my automated close to even reduce that. So I'm setting that limit order. I'm pre-pricing. So what I do is I just put that price in there that I need to close it at, and it automatically closes it as soon as that price appears. So it takes all the thought out of it, and it executes. So I just about have it figured out on all platforms, right? That's something that, I spent extra hours in educating and learning, is how to close. So, some of these things and concepts require extra study, like it's time to be a little academic. It's worth it. I love studying, when I have time to do it, which is, 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. I can afford to go down a couple rabbit holes during my day and get to the bottom of something. I love doing deep dives into, different topics and studies. So, this happens to be one of them I just got passionate about. And it's like, oh, I want to know this. I want to understand that. Well, why did this happen? Why did that happen? And you become, you start learning your strategy that way. So anyway, that is my schedule. So I'm going to get us hopefully to the first A+ setup. And that is what I wanted to talk about in terms of the gamma pinning. I don't think I went into supply and demand, support and resistance enough. So support and resistance, let's talk about that. I think we're getting a general understanding of support and resistance, but let's start over here. Let's just start here, okay? This is a support level. The VWAP, see me wiggling over here? This is a support level. Okay, so hold on, let me make sure of that. So you see the pattern.
You see the pattern. Okay, I'm going to point. So to scratch what I just said, let's start over. Okay, so price is down here. Looks like price, I'm just have it on 67.72. This is the price, 67.72. We're just going to say it's right there. So as it moves up, boom, it hits a ceiling. That's resistance. So there is resistance at 67.86. It hits it, boom, and then it bounces down because it hit the resistance level. So it hit the VWAP. Well, the VWAP moves, okay, but it hit the VWAP, it rejected it, boom, it went down, and you know what? It hit a support level at the bottom, supports the floor. It's at the bottom, right? So, hey, I had it set just right. Okay, I'm not going to leave you hanging. I'll fix this. I'll try to fix it. This usually fixes it. And then I go back to it and then open it up. That's actually not a bad view. I know it got smaller. Hopefully you can see it. But that is a pretty decent view to show you like the support and resistance levels. So resistance is at the top and support is at the bottom. Okay, so anyway, it's pretty simple, right? So basically what you're doing when you identify the support and resistance levels is you are looking at where price could be accepted or rejected. Can it go higher? Well, what's stopping it from going higher? You have a resistance level up there, meaning that's as high as price will go before there's a sell, right? Before there's a sell-off, right? And so, because it went up, profit grab, sell-off, and then it goes to this line right here. You see that? That is a support line. It turned into a support line, and then you have price that it starts to accumulate right there, consolidate. All right, we'll talk about some consolidation. It's basically when price just goes sideways. Consolidation can also be referred to as accumulation, which means that there is buying and selling taking place right there enough to stabilize price. All right, that's when price becomes stable, is when there's an equal number of buyers and sellers. It goes sideways. Ta-da. All right, so that is what I wanted to cover in terms of lesson today. I've titled it in case you need to. I'm getting better at giving the sessions titles so you can go back and review a particular topic easier. All right, so we got that, and it's almost 6 o'clock. We'll take our first smart money roadmap. So here's the thing. Yesterday's roadmap, my roadmap came out really good. It was to the T. Price did everything just about my roadmap had laid out, which is cool. I like those days. But sometimes, the opening bell rings and the price and the market does something different. That's when it's time to take a new screenshot of the market structure and get a new roadmap. Like I said, we don't predict, we just have probabilities. And at that point in time, your roadmap is invalid. So you want to check the validity of your roadmap. And if you detect that it's invalid, just go ahead, take a new screenshot, it'll update. And double check even, just keep double checking until, it feels right, looks right. So I've learned through trading that you listen to your little voices. Not the greedy ones, though. I rebuke greed with the authority given to me by Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. So we always rebuke greed. When you start feeling yourself getting greedy, rebuke it. I am not kidding. Greed will blow up your account. Leave that little bit more on the table. It's okay to leave some on the table. I know Mama said eat all the food on your plate, but in this particular case, don't listen to her. Listen to me. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're going to. Okay, so we're gonna take this screenshot of the SPX.
The American stock market is mixed, with the S&P 500 down 0.1%, the Nasdaq Composite Index up 0.1%, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average down 0.6%. SPX and SPY update.
Okay, we got a mixed market. Means, got NASDAQ down, S&P up, or S&P up, NASDAQ down. I don't pay too much attention to that. I just look at the market structure and take it from there. There's always targets. There's always supply and demand. And the market structure tells us the story, right? Okay, so here's my ES futures. So, all right, if we got any rookies out there, we are taking a picture of the ES futures, S&P 500. It trades 24 hours a day. It is the preview of the index that we trade. They are essentially the same. This is just the futures version. It trades in Asia and London and the New York Stock Exchange, which is our stock exchange, 23 hours a day. All right. So that's why we use it. It's because it's been trading, and our index, we use the SPXX chart, but we actually trade the S&P, the SPXW. Okay, I know that's a bit confusing, but I'll elaborate more in the workshop, right? We get all those things answered. You just follow along with the strategy, and I give lessons during the live stream, right? So just follow along, just hang in there. It'll make sense. All right, so anyway, we took a screenshot of this one, the S&P, the SPXX, and now we're gonna copy our notes that I sent in the thread. I sent the Smart Money Technical Analysis notes. I checked, it's still there. So we're gonna copy that. We do this every day, so I know I might be kind of moving fast, but you can replay the stream, or just follow along, or it's okay if you're behind because we're about to slow down as soon as it's generated, because we're going to analyze it. And in order to do that, we have to slow down.
Okay, so I just read over mine. It looks pretty decent compared to what I see in the market of the market structure right now. I'm going to go ahead and print it off, PDF it, and I'm going to give it a PDF and do a quick review with you, and then we'll take a break, and we'll break actually at 6:30 until 6:30. I'll do the review, take a break at 6:30 just to make sure that it's tracking along with the smart money roadmap that was generated. And at that point, if it is tracking along, then we'll take a break till about 6:45 and take a look at what has developed. We don't place a trade before 6:45, and actually the window, will probably be even after that. Okay, so this is what we're doing. I am going to request a PDF that I can print off and mark up with my highlighters and pen. All right, in this analysis, I want you to include barchart.com. Let's get in the habit of looking at the VIX. That's the Fear and Greed Index. I haven't talked much about the Fear and Greed Index, but it lets you know the sentiment of the market sentiment. So we're going to go to barchart.com real quick. It gives us a deeper dive of the support and resistance levels. And we're going to go to the search field, the magnifying glass, and enter SPX. We're going to slide through all the noise, get through all the ads. Hopefully one doesn't pop up in the middle of your screen. If it does, just hit the X. Don't tap it. It'll take you somewhere that you'll have to come back from. Okay. All right. So we want to look at the resistance and support levels at the bottom. Don't scroll too fast. It'll bounce and you'll miss it. You know, like slow your scroll. All right. So we see third resistance level is 6872. That's really up there. 6841, 6808. That's probably the one we'll be working with. Probably. There's a lot of probabilities, all right? And our job is to analyze and look at the market structure and price action to determine the target. Don't be fearful of the higher resistance levels because we'll be out of the trade before that even happens. That's why we stick to 25-30% is, and there are cases where price can go parabolic and just continue to shoot up, but we're out of the trade. It doesn't matter, right? If we stick to our principles. But we do keep it in mind. All right, so support levels, I have 6744, 6712, and 6680. All right, I like that. Okay, so let's take a look at the VIX real quick. We could just type in the VIX. It's at 25. It's up 6%. So we'll take a stop right there, and it means we are subject to get wide intraday swings. Means liquidity sweeps increase, more likely, stop hunts, fake breakouts, fast reversals. Option premium is expensive. Okay, good for credit sellers. All right, so we'll see a lot. We're gonna stand a chance to see quite a bit of profits today.
That's good news. All right. Where do we want to start? Okay, so we've got our pre-market roadmap. I'm going to just shoot straight down to the institutional roadmap and go to quarter one. We're looking at the opening from 6:30 to 7:30, expected liquidity test at 6797 or 6758. And that's where we'll take our break. So we're waiting for confirmation of the opening drive. I know we've got market structure, VWAP structure, resistance levels, support levels, liquidity pools and targets. And we've got a recommendation for the Condor placement framework and institutional pin magnet checklist. I am gonna make this more instructional for a quarter by quarter play. So what that means is we're going to look at the first quarter only right now and expect an opening drive, which will be a liquidity test. We're looking at 6797 or 6758. 6797 is pretty much very close to the top of our box. So if we see a move like that, then I'm going to be looking at placing a trade above. I'm going to put my calls above the 6810. And that would be an A+ setup because there's an institutional supply zone at 6810. And that would be a great trade. So we are looking for the upswing. All right, so there we go. We're going to take a 10-minute break and prepare for market open at 6:30. And then we'll strategize for the rest of quarter one. Ta-da.
No early trades.
You can stream all the podcasts you already love right on TuneIn. Available on your smartphone, on your tablet, and even on your computer. So much unrevealing facts about your world.
So that was disallowed from speaking their language.
In-depth conversations with A-list celebrities.
I was ready to go. You know, after I wanted to fulfill my contract.
True crime podcasts you just can't stop listening to.
Others escape justice to live and die in infamy.
Plus the news and sports content you crave in podcast form.
Could run in a straight line very quickly and didn't have much of an arm. The arm is stronger now.
So whether you want to save your go-to shows for later by subscribing and listening offline, or you want to discover a whole slew of new podcasts to be obsessed with, TuneIn is your destination. True crime, sports, lifestyle, culture, news, and so much more. TuneIn is Podcast Central. Hear them all here.
Or listen on demand wherever you get your podcasts.
Markets, headlines, and breaking news 24 hours a day. Bloomberg.com, Bloomberg Television, and the Bloomberg Business app. This is a Bloomberg Business Flash.
Bloomberg Business Flash. Well, the bottom line, no signs things are calming down. Dow futures down 467, S&P futures down 53, the Nasdaq futures down 205. Iran says it's in a new wave of missile launches on Israel, and the supreme leader says the Strait of Hormuz should stay closed. His first statement, President Trump also posting this morning, he says stopping Iran. On the economic January housing starts higher than expected, rising 7.2%. We expected a drop of over 4.5%. Many of jobless claims pretty much in line with the forecast. The data consistent with higher than expected growth for the first quarter, but does anybody really care? The impact of Morgan Stanley capping withdrawals from the $50 billion credit funds. Deutsche Bank also this morning in their annual report, $30 billion exposure to private credit. Which markets for you are holding on radio. And that is your business flash. What's this on top?
Thank you so much for opening up your 5 minutes for America in the United States future. A little bit late to the tape end to more Dow futures number
First quarter liquidity sweep lockout. Market open. No trades during volatility. Observe only. Q1 smart money psychology lets trick retail into buying so we can offload. Sweep confirmation. Volume confirms sweeps, breakouts, exhaustion. Sweep volume spikes 150 to 220% of the prior 20-bar average. Occurs at or through the previous day's high or previous day's low. Overnight high or overnight low. Sweep completion continued. Occurs at prior liquidity cluster, single impulse candle, no chop, immediate range rejection or stall after the spike. Breaks key level by 3 to 8 points. A fake sweep, 130% volume, overlapping candles, price holds above or below with no rejection.
Okay, so looks like we've got some downward action. Liquidity target. Downside. Way downside. Let's see where the demand is. Okay, so right out of the gate, I am going to generate a new smart money roadmap. I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to squeeze in, make sure I get all that in my screenshot. So we're gonna regenerate, take a screenshot of the current market structure and put it with the smart money notes in your AI, whatever you're using. So we're going to take a picture of the SPXX only, not the futures this time. Not ES, all right?
Okay, so you see what's going on here is if you look to the left, there's a imbalance. And so we're headed towards equilibrium. We're balancing out.
It's absolutely brilliant, folks. And let me tell you, the team of people that come up with that $1,900, it is a lot of work involved with that. I would suggest that it's something
Well, I'm regenerating mine right now. So need to get a PDF version and I'll give it a review. Yeah, mine's generating right now, and then I'll review it. I'll compare it to what I see, and you can compare yours to, what you see and what I'm saying. But mine's analyzing right now, so hold tight. We're not in a hurry. We're never in a hurry. So we'd rather miss the trade than be in a hurry. But right now, we're truly not missing anything. A lot of shenanigans happen right now, a lot of fake outs, a lot of misdirections. We haven't gotten confirmation on anything. Look at that pink line. You see how it's bending down? Well, the VWAP hasn't been established yet. That is the fair weighted average price line. And so we're in quarter one, so we're not really looking at, that's a little too far ahead, looking at the pin risk of the institutional pin magnet list. We'll get a better read on that as we head into the 12 to 1. Right now, we're just, hold on here. Let me catch up.
The music you love is all right here on TuneIn, bringing you good vibes and the hottest hits. But are you ready to amp things up even more? Just upgrade to TuneIn Premium for all of our exclusive music channels, completely commercial free, so you get more of today's hits. More country roads.
All right, so my comment to the pin magnet zone is I'm going to open up the options chain in just a moment, and I will show you. Well, let's just do that because we need to make a note of that. Let me print this thing off real quick.
From Saturday Night Live, his Netflix specials, and Peacock's Bupkis, Pete Davidson. Friday, April 10th, the venue in Thunder Valley. Get tickets now at ThunderValleyResort.com. Pete Davidson, live.
Okay, so my updated roadmap is coming almost here. Yay.
All right, so let's go to the pin magnet zone. This is how we establish the pin magnet zone. We are gonna go to the options chain. Let me turn my pin on. So at the top of my screen, you see overview, chart, news, options. We're going options. And we're gonna go open interest. Actually, we're gonna simplify things. And I'm gonna go to the SPXW option. There we go. Okay. There. Got my whole screen back. And now we're going to identify where the highest concentration of contracts are.
Upgrade to TuneIn Premium for all of our exclusive music channels, completely commercial free. So you get more of today's hits. Your country roads. And everything
We're not gonna go that deep, 60 Okay, so let's keep it within like reason here. But I'm gonna take a look at the smart money roadmap. And we've got our VWAP. Say we've got a range 6826 and 6805. 6705. So 6705. Oh, 6700 has 2000. See, again, those round numbers right there. So we're going to take a look at that one. Well, we're just going to make a mental note of that one. The 6700. Okay, so there's a high concentration of contracts there. So that's why we're just letting it develop. And it's on the downside right now. So it could go as low as 6700. We're just keeping that in mind. I'm going to go directly to the pin magnet zone at 6750. And we'll see why. Oh, 1688 and through 6770. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is what I hate. I'm not getting a big enough read on the options chain. I'm gonna have to fix that because that is a problem. I cannot see how many contracts are at 6770 because this isn't showing me enough data. So my screen isn't showing me enough data. So maybe on yours, you'll be able to see like why it's saying 6770. I'm gonna have to figure mine out. However, you can see at 6750, there is a high concentration. The highest concentration on the screen right now is the 6750. So that's why there will be a gamma pin right there. Price will, be between there and there. So that is generally how we narrow down the range on the 12-to-1 trade. Is it will shrink. Right now, we've got, some pretty good numbers up there in the thousands, and it's pretty easy for the liquidity to be absorbed as the volatility is pretty high right now in the morning. So that's why we don't do a trade in the first 15 minutes because of the volatility.
First trade window open. Only expansion trades allowed. Displacement is required.
But yes, that is saying that, that is the pin magnet.
And let's get back to the SPXX chart. Hope that answers your question. If not, let me know. Let me know. Oh, okay. So we can see 6709. So like I said, that magnetic number, 6700, is in play, and I'm going to move the stake.
We're actually seeing a lot of interest in our short-term bond fund on the municipal side. I think people, now that rates have
That's no good.
they're looking to maybe step up the curve slightly. And then those who had actually made some of that move last year are actually moving further out the curve. So the long end, in our opinion, intermediate to longer end of the curve, especially on a ratio basis,
It won't let me move it lower.
is more attractive right now.
What about future? I mean, what's gonna drive the muni market in a world where there's so much geopolitical tension? And maybe, do people start to see the muni market as a safe haven?
I think that's a great point in that if you look at the average credit quality, you look at default rates, even throughout recessions, they're very, very low. So you know, it's a situation where you do have
Might need to move it again. So, okay. So we're gonna take a look at the lower levels.
adjust to this volatility.
We're not even gonna talk about the VWAP right now because it hasn't been established yet. So we can't do too much anything until the VWAP has been established. So we're just gonna let price move into the lower levels. Let's get a read on that.
You know, in Iowa, is it something where they're trying to take oil, make it oil? I mean, what's
So I'm seeing support at 6705, 6670, and 6640. So pretty low. It could go. But we're just waiting for confirmation. I'm going to squeeze in a little bit and show you what's happening on the left. So as you can see, we're getting some fill-ins. This is what we call a gap down over here that I'm going to show you a gap down. This is the gap down. So smart money institutions want to fill that eventually, that gap. But right now we are seeing restoration of balance. So we're rebalancing because as you can see from the gap down, that left a wide range on the left with no balance. The market always has to balance. Our bodies always have to balance. Our minds need to balance. So it's all about balance right now. So we can look at this line about there. Now I got too many lines, but that's okay. I'll clean it up.
we're in a tough situation now, potentially inflation going up, but at the same time, I think economic worries. So my view would be it probably leads to
There. A little cleaner.
really appreciate you coming in. Lana Furrer with us with Baird, Senior Portfolio Manager, Multi-Sector Credit and Municipal Bonds as well. Right to the news flow. It's extraordinary with our news. In New York City, Michael Barr.
Thank you very much, Tom, Alexis, and John. A few moments ago, the new leader of Iran, Mojtaba Khomeini, made his first address since the U.S.-Israel Iran war started. He said that the Hormuz should stay closed. Ayatollah went on to say other fronts will be opened if war persists. Also this morning, President Trump sent out a social media post about the Iran war. He says the United States is the largest oil producer in the world.
So this is shaping up to look like potentially the first trade of the day, seeing that we're at the bottom of what could potentially be the low of the day. But however, we're waiting for a retest before we enter the trade. We're not going to chase price. We want confirmation from the smart money team institutions that they are making a commitment to go towards the upper zones. So we're in the lower zone right now. We're waiting for a retest to make sure it doesn't go lower. And we want confirmation, we want conviction before we enter a play. So let's take a look at our thesis here. I have reaction support at 67.05. We are in that zone. We are witnessing the restoration of balance in the market. 66, however, we have an institutional demand zone. So it could potentially go lower because there's a demand zone. Right underneath what? 6,700. You know how I feel about those 100 numbers, those zeros. So the demand zone is truly at 66.70 through 66.90. So the liquidity target I have a lower target at 66.70. So there is liquidity down there, so that could be a target. And it makes me start thinking about me puts. Let's see, the candles are moving about 12 points per 5 minutes. So 10 minutes, we should be at 24 points under. Where would that put us? Oh, that'll put us at about 66, 70-ish. So we're looking at it going as low as 67.40. No, excuse me, 67.70, 67.70. Oops, I'm sorry, 66. My bad. 66.40. The institutional demand zone is at 6670 through 6690, and we're looking at a stretch because the next support level is there at 6640. I've got it identified. That's what a support level looks like, and we can expect price to stop there and then retest the VWAP. It will be established at that point, and we'll be able to determine from there the true bias.
With the games, like the pool table or some of those games, you must be, you just go in and get some idiot to bet.
This is not a sport you can do with one beer in one hand. These guys are athletes.
You can have the curling skills translate to other things.
Okay, the size of your size of curling expert here. I got out of turn here. I'm gonna have to go here in a couple minutes because of rain. I mean, Corey, it's as simple as that. Were the Canadians cheating?
Curling, which doesn't happen often.
Yeah, you don't see it very often. It's also a big stage. We're talking about the Olympics, emotions are high. You had essentially a legend of the sport who was being called out, and he overreacted for sure. He was in a fracture that, as out of the basketball, some people call on it, some people don't. And he got called on it.
Where do you keep the medal when you're not wearing it?
Either close by to me or up high on a shelf at home.
Not out of the tray, not under the mattress.
Okay, when you get the Clorox free and clear on the kitchen floor, you're like demanding you do the scrubbing on the kitchen floor.
You know,
If you were my son, this would I'd be asking you to do it. I really would, Corey.
I'm very good at cleaning the kitchen floor. For sure. Yeah, you can ask Mike Johnson.
Well, thank you so much. This has been just a joy. It's a real entrepreneurial spirit, folks. Broccoli, you're going to see it, as Corey mentions, out of Toronto here, is a developer interest in curling.
No, this is not accurate because you're not getting any 66.98 play on there. So everything on there is related to the upside. And that's how you know that this roadmap is not valid, because we're down. I mean, we're clear down into 67.02 now. And oh, wait a minute. I missed the. Oh, hold on here. Hold on. 66.50. Previous day's low.
I'm going to go to the major Bloomberg feed here, which you have in Iran. That's actually a little bit stable right now. And Alexis is bringing it over to Top Live where they're working feed.
Yeah, I would take, let's see, I took a screenshot of my screen,
And I came up with something different. Let's see what I come up. Where'd it go?
Making clear that the message itself is defiant. Iran will continue to attack the Gulf and keep the Strait of Hormuz closed. So we'll have to see that as well. What did you say?
Maybe you want to hold the middle.
I want to hold the medal?
Heavier than you'd expect.
Yeah, I don't think you have that through TSA.
Okay, here we go. Here, Marie, you can have your medal back.
Thank you.
Your silver medal.
Hard is silver medalist for this today's begins in Rock League, curling as well. Okay, what do you do? We go back to some less crisis music. Rush, Gavin, good morning. Down negative 619.
Broadcasting 24 hours a day at Bloomberg.com and the Bloomberg Business app. This is Bloomberg Radio. Now, an update from our partners at CBS News. Is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by NotBots.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Iran's new supreme leader issues his first statement on the 13th day of war.
Okay, we're starting to see some what looks like institutional involvement. This looks like a test of the VWAP potentially. And this could be a trade opportunity if the VWAP is reclaimed. Oh, that looks pretty good to me. So I'm going to take a look at some possibilities now.
So what we have right now is price pinning to the VWAP line. So we're going to get some establishment and some true direction. That's what we're waiting for is true direction, some establishment. VWAP line hasn't been claimed or rejected at this point. We're getting some consolidation there.
Whatever this fox is saying, he's saying it with a British accent. It's not clear how the red fox slipped onto the ship, which left Southampton last month carrying a load of cars. When the ship arrived at the port of New York and New Jersey, the fox was taken to the Bronx Zoo. It appears to be healthy and is settling in well. Once he clears some more health screenings, officials will try to find him a permanent home. Michael Wallace, CBS News, New York.
Introducing Billboard's Women of the Year.
Yeah, I'm going to take a 5-minute break. I'll be right back.
In the industry, and on the world stage. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News. This is Bloomberg Intelligence with Scarlett Quill and Paul Sweeney.
Anything the Fed is looking at tariffs, the uncertainty of tariffs.
Let's take a look at the sectors and how they performed.
While investors getting whipsawed every day by news events.
Breaking market headlines and corporate news from across the globe. We are going to take a look at some stocks on the move with Avalon Burnell, Bloomberg Equities reporter. Avalon, what are you looking at?
Yeah, we can start off with Mosaic, that's ticker MOS. It's gaining about 4.9% today, which makes it one of the top performers in the S&P 500. They join a flurry of chemical and fertilizer stocks that are broadly higher amid continued disruptions to the Strait of Hormuz. They actually have one analyst from National Bank Financial saying that liquidity near-term upside in fertilizer supporting strong potash revenues. However, other analysts are also saying that this is incredibly ill-timed, especially given the fact that the northern hemisphere begins spring planting season right about now.
Okay, I am back. It appears that some of us are having like some issues with the AI. It took me quite a while to train my AI. I named it Grace. I mean, like we've got such a relationship to where my AI even has a name and responds to the name of Grace. And it took me, when did I start using Grace? Maybe 2-3 years ago, and I fine-tuned Grace. So we have to fine-tune our AIs. I'll start posting the Smart Money Roadmap in the trade thread again, so you can compare it, your roadmap to my roadmap, and you have to train yours. We'll go over that in the workshop. We'll try to get the AIs trained up, but for now, on between now and Saturday, compare it to the roadmap that I post in the Tribe of Faithful Traders thread and what you see on the charts. So if your roadmap is not matching up to current price action, it's wrong. And you need to take a updated picture of the chart that you have in front of you. You can use my chart too. You can use the chart that you have if you don't, if you have the studies applied. By referring to the studies, we haven't talked much about how to put the VWAP on your screen. We haven't talked much about how to use the volume study, the average true range study, and the RSI study. So those are the studies that I use to navigate the market structure. However, in short, take a current, you may have to update it a couple times before you get an actual read. And it's quite okay to tell your AI that it's screwing up. I mean, treat it like an employee. It is your assistant. It is your trading assistant. And you rely on accurate data. And if you notice that it's off, then resubmit it and compare it to mine and compare it to what you see on your screen. So if price is currently at 67.20 and it's not reflecting that, then it's off. And you need to recalibrate it. We're seeing some action right now at the VWAP line. I'm seeing a reversal pattern in the works, but we need confirmation of that. So what I'm looking for right now is some testing at the VWAP line, which is what we're seeing. We're seeing some testing, and in general, what we're looking for are 2 5-minute candles clearly above the VWAP line and a retest of the VWAP line. So at that point, we would have a bullish bias. Right now, we don't have any bias. So we're just getting started.
This is a pain that's felt across the international markets. It will affect, obviously, energy prices are very, very sensitive matters. They're indices of international confidence in their own economies, in the international system, and this is shaking it up. In fact, we've heard experts saying that this crisis could pose the biggest challenge to the oil market since oil became a
Yeah, so right now we are truly chilling. However, I am looking at puts right now. I'm looking at puts. I'm also looking at this level.
Together, but I think the question over the past few days has been, are they on the same page? Are there differences here between what President Trump and
Do I need to recalibrate my pen or what? I'm looking at where we are now to that level right there, because that would be our first level of resistance. If we got a bearish flip, if it flipped to bull, then that would be our first level of resistance. And I just keep an eye on that, because we I'm gonna actually make that one, if I can get it. Oh, I see. I want that one to be red. That one's something I would just consider.
Yeah, Dan, it certainly seems like this war is going to be more prolonged than a lot of people expected. That was Dan Williams, reporter for Bloomberg News based in Jerusalem. Dan, thank you so much for your time. Get the latest news whenever you want with Bloomberg News Now. Top stories from our global team of reporters at the click of a button. Get Bloomberg News Now on the Bloomberg Business News app, Bloomberg.com, and anywhere you get your podcasts.
Jones Industrial 500 points. Brent crude just about to touch $100 a barrel. This is Bloomberg Intelligence.
The war in the Middle East rages on. There's little sign of let up on either side.
Attacks spread beyond the Strait of Hormuz.
The largest oil disruption in history. Bloomberg Radio brings you the latest.
Yeah, that was potentially a fake reversal pattern there. Normally we see a bit more acceleration.
Morning, people wake up for peace and quiet. McDonald's breakfast, people, we wake up for the
If you look over to the left, you'll see a true reversal pattern, like over here in this area. That is what a true reversal pattern looks like. You'll notice that they're almost identical. However, we see those green candles just take off. The price accelerated after the liquidity sweep. Okay, so we're not seeing that acceleration right now. So this is what I would, in just a second, say it was a fake reversal. However, that's not confirmed as yet, but it's sure shaping up to look like one. And what happens is retail traders would have potentially chased that. And there's the potential that price would be reversed. This is the retest that I was referring to. And so you see how price went down below the VWAP. It came back to the VWAP, tested it, and now we're getting confirmation that it is going to be a bearish bias. Gee, that's I'm a little challenged today with my lyrical skills. I'm getting kind of stuck. Blame it on like a late wake up. I've been waking up late. Ever since we changed the clocks, I'm like an hour. I'm truly an hour. I was waking up at 4 a.m. Now I'm waking up at 5, which makes sense, right? So my body hasn't adjusted to the 4 a.m. wake up call yet. That's just my hour. I like waking up at 4. Meditate, pray, coffee, sit down, talk with God, and then start thinking about the market, even read some scriptures, listen to some scriptures, Proverbs, Psalms. However, I'm a little off. So we're at 6703. Again, that 6700 is psychological magnet. And I have us going potentially, my roadmap has us going as low as 6770. 6770. Yeah. There's a liquidity target at, I'm saying 67. I mean 66. So 6670, 6670. Okay, you with me? 6670 liquidity target. The demand zone is 6670 through 6690. At which time, price gets to the low, dips into the 6640 zone or close. Then I'm looking at entering a put around the 6650 or 6640 level. However, if we get some strong commitment here at the VWAP line, I would reconsider. Here's what I would reconsider. I would reconsider putting the call. I'm going to refer to it as a call credit spread, actually. So that's when we sell a call, buy a call. That creates a play where we expect price to go down. So we're saying that the probability that price would go down is strong. So that's a call credit spread. So I would place my call side above the VWAP, and then I would run my put side down to like 6650, 6640, and that would truly be trading with the bias of the market. So that's what I'm going to reconsider is positioning the call credit spread above the VWAP line. So sell a call, buy a call. That would, let me look at where we are now in terms of price action. Okay, it's time to get surgical. So price is at that 6,700 psychological level. And, oh. What happened? I don't know. I'm showing that we're live. Barry is asking if we are on silent. Hold on just a moment.